Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play LOTRO with me, Balthelion, and today we are once again inside Elrond's library where he's giving me nasty looks. He's giving evil stares straight at the camera now, but he doesn't seem too happy that I'm stood on his little dining table-y thing here. So we've got to carry on with Chapter 9.
What dangers will they face on the road south?
You have done quite well, Holobrand. The Grey Company assembles with as much haste as can be taken, and they will ride to Aragorn in the wide southern lands. Whatever dangers have befallen him, we must believe the Dunedain will reach him in time. If you desire to aid the Grey Company in Aragorn further, you may ride with them. I will tell you when all is made ready. Until that day, Holobrand, go in peace and keep the safety of these lands. The way south will be dangerous. So we're going to get a Scroll of Empowerment, which means that we can rank up one of our legacies on our legendary item. There's no other choices this time.
The Dunedain have been called to fulfill their purpose in this age, to ride to the aid of their chief Aragorn, son of Arathorn. The road of the Grey Company will be fraught with peril, but they must not fail.
Tales of your rediscovery of the Axe Dragon's Lair have reached me here, Holobrand. Okay. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. That's obviously something I did back in the day. Anyway, let's talk to Elrond then, and we can begin Volume 3 and Book 2.
Hope is not in vain.
By your efforts, the summons was brought throughout Eriador, Holobrand, and now the Dunedain have responded. Many of their number have come to Imladris as they prepare to depart for the southern lands, that they may come to Aragorn in his time of need. You will ride with them, if you see fit to do so, but I have been made aware that my daughter desires first to speak with you. She is at Imdolan, on the slopes north of Imladris, overlooking the road that climbs up into the Misty Mountains. So we'll have to go speak to her then, so we need to go outside. And then basically on the road up towards the Misty Mountains from Rivendell. She's kind of at the lookout at the very top up there. So I will cut away with you guys and I will meet you there in a moment. Okay, so we are back then, and we are literally just right at the very top of the map there, just underneath where it says Stable Masters map, on the road that goes to the Misty Mountains. But instead of going east up the path that literally goes to the Misty Mountains, if you keep going north, there's like a little dead end bit where you can kind of come up to this little ruins where Arwen is having a nice look at this nice scenic view that's over Rivendell. And in the far distance there, on the slopes of that mountain, that's the gate down into Rivendell from the Troll Shore. So you can kind of see this path kind of like zigzagging down the hill there, which is all where the... I think over there that's the guest house over there, where Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli are. But the last homely house where Elrond is somewhere behind the mountains, so we can't see them. So then, Lady Arwen, what do you want to see me about?
My own undertaking has come to an end, and its fruit waits now for a bearer.
You have returned from your errand, Holobrand, and have come to speak with me as I asked. My delight cannot be hidden, friend Hobbit, for my own undertaking has also come to an end, and its fruit waits now for a bearer. Is that innuendo? That sounds a bit dirty, doesn't it? Arwen solemnly hands you a tall staff wrapped closely with a black cloth bound with thongs. I have made this gift for Aragorn. The days are short, and it may be that our hopes will soon be ended. This standard I have made for him will fly aloft at a time of his choosing, and he will know for what he fights. May it bring courage to my Elfstone, and those with whom he stands. Bring this gift and my words to Halbarad by the stables in Imladris, for he has consented to bear them both on the journey south. So there we go, she's made him a nice pretty banner, which is presumably got the 7 stars and all that on there. So I believe this is the one that he unfurls at the Battle of the Pelennor eventually. But we need to go see Halbrand now, who's going to be down by the stables. So we'll just quickly cut away. Okay, so Halbrad's just over here. Well, that's Lavrandir. Different ranger.
I will carry this burden on our journey.
You bring both a gift and a message for my chief from the Lady Arwen? I see. Halbrand listens as you recount Arwen's words and gravely accepts the standard you carry. I will carry this burden on our journey. It will come to Aragorn, though all the perils of our road lie in between. When will this standard be unfurled, I wonder? and against what sky would it be raised aloft?
All is nearly ready.
All is nearly ready, Holobrand. While I finish the final preparations for our departure, I ask that you speak with some of those who will accompany us south. Ensure that they are prepared for the road and rested enough for the first leg of our journey. I saw Golodir just to the northeast some minutes ago, speaking with Elro here. Radenir was just to the east of the two of them, beneath the footbridge. Lofrandir is just across the way, speaking to his horse, Mifwil. He knows a great deal about the lands through which we must pass. Ask him if he has any further information about the road, which may help us move with haste. Once you have spoken with those four, find Candace by the stable's gate, and speak to him about what lies ahead. So, a bit of a road tour to talk to everyone. So here's Lofrandir with his horse.
Mithul is ready for the next leg of the journey.
Miful is ready for the next leg of the journey, Holobrand. Indeed, his kind may be more prepared for what awaits us than others of this company. After all, Miful's eyes will be to the road underfoot, watching for loose stones and wind-blown branches. The eyes of the Dunedain must be to the horizon, keeping watch for foes that may seek to slow our errand. I have spoken with Halbarad and the sons of Elrond about the road we will take, south through the Trollshores and into Eregion, there to rest at Eregion before passing south into Enedwaith. A number of Dunlending tribes called the area home when last I journeyed those lands. Some were friendly to outsiders, but most were not. The Draig Loof, the Hebog Loof, they are those you would be wise not to cross, and I will do my best to ensure the Grey Company does not entangle with them. So that's one, and another one's over here. Let's just mount up to be a bit quicker to move around. So who are you? It's Golodir.
My horse Legimbod is rested and ready for the next leg of the journey.
My horse Legimbod is rested from the ride out of Angmar, and he is ready to undertake the next leg of the journey. His saddlebags are as light as I could make them, while still keeping the supplies we will need. Golodir takes a small pendant out from one of his pockets and idly passes it from one hand to the other as he looks about the yard. This refuge has not changed in the many years since I last came here, but surely I, myself, must be unrecognisable. So much has happened, and so little of it good. But the ride here was a marvel, and I could feel the weight of the past falling from my shoulders with the feel of the breeze upon my face. Legimbod delighted in the speed, and I delighted with him. The southward journey will do both of us some good. I am ready to be off again. And over here we've got one of Elrond's sons. It's Elro here.
My father had some curious words for me.
My father had some curious words for me on the eve of this, our departure from the southern lands, Holobrand. Elro here gazes down the hill, deep in thought. He said that the time is approaching, when we can no longer hold back, when we must do more than defend against the actions of the enemy. He said that the time is coming, when we may need to wager everything on a final throw, and by doing so, we will have done all that we can. Better a death in far-off lands in the service of a chance, however small, than death at home, a certainty. We may not return from this journey, Holobrand. My brother and I are at peace with that. I hope that you and these Dunedain are as well, for I would counsel any who are not to stay behind. So he's taking a bit of a grim view of the potential success of this. And down here we have Radenir.
I will do my duty with no complaint, and Glorren Gur will do the same.
Glorren Gur did not break a sweat in the short ride from Forenhad here to Rivendell. He was ready to begin even yesterday. I could say the same for myself. I have returned to Forenhad to say goodbye to Elwalef, but I could not find her anywhere near the camp. I had meant to return this hairpin she had given me, but perhaps she feared the farewells. I suppose I did as well. We will soon set forth. I do not know what the future will bring, but I will do my duty with no complaint, and Glorren Gur will do the same. So now we need to speak to Candace, who's just over here.
Everyone is nearly ready to ride.
Everyone is nearly ready to ride. The Dunedain, the sons of Elrond, and Holobrand, loyal hobbit. Are you familiar with our history, Holobrand? As you are joining us on this journey, surely to go down in the annals of the Dunedain, I would have you hear some of it, if you have not already. We have some moments. Let me tell you some of our history, that you may understand the weight of that which we are about to do.
I have been pleased to record much of the history of the Dunedain.
The early years of the Third Age saw the deaths of Isildur and his eldest sons, but his line was not ended, for his youngest son was kept safely here in Rivendell. He was raised far from danger, and came to rule the Northern Kingdom. His descendants would not know peace, for the Nazgul were to reappear, and their chief would wage war upon the men of the West. In the year 1974 of the Third Age, the armies of the Witch King seized Fornost. The North Kingdom was no more, and its ruler, Arvedui, fled northward to Thorkel. But there he was lost, along with the heirlooms of his house. Some of the Dunedain journeyed into the icy waste to recover them. Do you wish to hear of their quest? So this is a solo quest, so if you're in a group you're going to have to ditch your friends for a bit. And we'll be doing a session play.
In the year 1975 of the Third Age, a party of Dunedain, led by the brothers Lyganed and Hyador, travelled north into Thorkel to reclaim the relics left behind in the flight from the wreck of Fornost.
So here we are then with some old rangers. We can speak to Hyador. And annoyingly this is going to mess up all my UI. We have come this far without incident, Lyganed, but the road north is certain to become more dangerous. Little is known of the snowmen of Thorkel, but if they are opposed to the Witch King, we will surely find them to be allies. Still, the ship bearing Arvedui should have returned by now, and its absence fills me with worry. We must press onward, no matter what we find. The sooner we learn what has befallen King Arvedui, the sooner we may leave this cold land. There are worms on the rise ahead, Lyganed. Use your skills at remaining unseen and clear a path for us, that we may bring the wagon up the road safely. The trade goods we bring may loosen the tongues of the snowmen as to the fate of our king. There are worms ahead, Lyganed. Clear them from the path that we may pass. So as usual in a session play we get some like really funky skills, some of which will probably be ridiculously overpowered.
Lyganed's ability to remain unseen was unrivaled in the north.
So there's a nasty winter worm up here. So I can enter in stealth, which gives me a massive stealth level buff. And from stealth, I can do a big arrow shot. So fly true. Pew. There we go. Takes off half his health. Can't complain about that. So spank him off with a few of the melee skills. And there's another guy at the top. So do that. So we've got Dunedain mark. So we can stick a nasty mark on him. But supposedly I can only use fly tube once it was marked, but it worked fine on the first one. But either way. Spank him, get him down with a few arrows, finish him off with melee. There we go. So progress further up the hill. And there's a couple more red dots to my east. So there's another winter worm. Again, sneaking stealth. Well, it's actually free. And there's a fourth one down the road. It's okay, so... Now, I don't know if any of these guys, the other rangers that we'll be playing, do AoE. This guy doesn't do any.
Lyganed worked quickly, and soon half of the worms were defeated. Only 3 remained.
So, only 3 remained, and then there were 2. So we're going to get loads of nice little narrations to our rangers as they head south. Yeah, for this bit of history, Candave is telling us all sorts of things. You don't want to fall down there. I'm not sure if you can actually get out of that canyon. I seem to have confused this one by throwing a dagger in his face. There we go, right. That's 5, so this is the last one we need. So we'll go in stealth. Mark him, shoot him in the face. There we go, throw a dagger in his face. Oh, what a shot.
Clear the path of the winter worms and return to Hyador.
So conveniently narrates, you need to go back to Haerdor. So we head down here, and I can't actually mount up to go back. So what other skills has this guy got? So he's got a morale heal, which you probably won't need. That's something that's gone disastrously wrong. The dagger throw has a 20 meter range. I think I've gone up the wrong way. Down here we go. We have Dunedain Strike, which is a pure melee attack. It's just a fairly small bit of damage. Righteous Arrow, 30 meters, which does fire damage. Okay, so that's why the worms are on fire then. Does a little bit of damage over time. Very good, Laganad. Now that the worms are cleared from the past, we can resume our journey northward into Foricon and learn what we may learn.
The small party continued north, coming at last to the shores of the Ice Bay.
We have come to the end of our road, Laganad. Look there! The ship that was to carry King Arvedui back home lies in ruin. Wish now as you never have before. Wish that he was not aboard the vessel when it broke apart. We cannot tarry here, though dread lies heavily upon my heart. Hurry, Laganad. This way. So there we go, we can see the ship is completely broken in the ice bay. Obviously it's very cold up here.
Even as they raced along the shore, they knew what awaited them.
Hoy there! What can you tell us of that
The
ship?
captain of that people simply shook his head.
You are the people of the Tolkien?
It was not a question. The Dunedain had been expected.
If you speak of King Arvedui, know that he is our liege. What is become of him? The Tolkien sheltered with us for a time, until the great sea monster came. We warned him not to climb atop it. Our shamans smelled danger on the air. He did not listen. How could this happen? The power of the Witch King is very strong in winter. His ice broke the sea monster's back. I don't know what bloody accent I'm doing here. It's changing with every sentence. Who now will rule your people? Did the Tall King have no sons?
Lyganet explained then to Asika that Arvedui had a son. The line would continue.
Thankfully, we have an heir. I am glad the Tall King had a son to continue his rule. Long may his heirs rule their faraway peoples. He spoke of great treasures and valuable things. He said that they were carried upon the sea monster's back, and that they could be used against the Witch King, for the betterment of both our peoples. But now all are lost. Nothing comes back out of the frozen water. So by the sea monster they are referring to the ship. Only the treasure he gave to me remains. Wait, what treasure is this of which you speak? Before he left us at his peril, the Tall King gave to me a ring. He said it had no power, but his people would give much to have it back. Laganad, I need a word with you. So obviously we're not talking about the One Ring here, but this is a rather significant ring in the lore. It must be the Ring of Barahir. It possesses no power save its value as an heirloom of House of Isildur, but its value in ancientry cannot be doubted. Did King Arvedui have some sense of the fate that awaited him? Surely not, but it is curious that this ring has escaped where he was unable. We have brought great store of provision with us. We will barter for the return of the ring, and it will go south with us, though its master cannot. We must be content with that. So as you may know anyway, this is the ring which eventually ends up in Aragorn's hands, since it is an heirloom of the House of Isildur, so it would pass down the line of succession there. And it is also referenced, I think it's only in the extended version of the films and that they mentioned that Aragorn has that particular ring. Or is it in the normal one as well? I don't know. But it's the one with the two snakes that are devouring one another.
It was in this way that the Ring of Barahir was saved. For more than 900 years, the descendants of Arvedwy ruled as chieftains of the Dunedain.
So now we're speaking to Glangon. We are almost there, Corrigir, for good or ill. I fear that we will not find Arador, our chieftain, still alive, but we cannot call off the pursuit until we know for certain. The hill trolls of the Etenmoors make their homes here on the Troll Height, and their tracks lead into the cleft just ahead. I will climb the rise and scout the area from above. There are goblins in these parts as well. I leave their fates up to you, but know that the trolls must be our main concern. Good fortune, Corrigor. May we not be too late for our chief.
In the year 2930 of the Third Age, Arador, the chieftain of the Dunedain, was taken captive by hill trolls.
So we need to head down into this little valley. Now there's irritating little goblins.
And Glengon, two of his closest allies, journeyed far into the Etenmoors to rescue him.
So we're not allowed to do our stealth attack because we can only do that from out of combat. So we're going to have to slowly melee these guys down with single target DPS. Now that guy's got a burn on him, so maybe if I switch to the other guy he might burn to death. Might be wishful thinking, I know, but we'll see. Now, he's still got a little bit left. Right, one more attack.
Corrigor carefully dealt with the goblins he encountered.
Okay, so they're doing a little bit of DPS to me. Okay, let's take out a few of these guys at once. So if this guy comes and attacks, there we go. We'll take him in a group of 3. That'd be nice. That way we're not going to get damaged too much, but we are starting to run a bit low on power, so we might need to keep our eyes open on that. Now, strictly speaking, we can probably sneak past these.
Would long whisper of the shadow that cut down their fellows that day.
Yes, the shadow. Right, I'll tell you what then, let's go in stealth. Flyture on this guy. We'll probably put him on his own. Must be stealth to do that. Something pull me out of stealth. Bang. There we go. Right, we've spanked him. Let's just run into these guys then. Last goblin. And then we can go attack the cave trolls.
The goblins fell before him, and Corrigor came to the den of the hill trolls.
Oh look, they've seen me now. They're not happy about this. Oh, they're coming at me. Alright. They've all got about the same morale here, so we might need to use our heal button at some point. Let's just focus fire on one of the guys. Oh, okay, they've still got knockbacks. Actually, not doing too much damage, actually. These are pretty reasonable. Okay, let's take out his other bodyguard. Have I managed to stun him? Oh, there we go. Dunedain Strike has a stun involved. That's not too bad then. But I'm out of power now, so I think we're going to rely more on our attacks, which do the damage over time fire attack. In which case I might go stick one on the boss as well. There we go. Go back to his mate. So yeah. Does this restore power as well? Only restores morale. That's a shame. Okay, second bodyguard is down. Now we just need to deal with the boss guy. So again, just set him on fire. Well, you think he resisted it. There we go. So keep spanking him. There, halfway. There we go, he's on fire at last. One more attack.
The hill trolls were defeated, but it was too late. The chieftain of the Dunedain was dead.
Oh no! Oh, literally. Oh no! Arador! Arador! Alas, we are too late. Arador has been slain. Curse these vile trolls. Glangon wipes away a tear and composes himself as best as he may. His son, Arathorn, is chieftain of the Dunedain now, though he wanted not. And him newly married as well. There is nothing for it, Corrigur. We must return with the sad news. I pity Arathorn for the responsibility that now falls to him, but we must console ourselves with the knowledge that the line of Isildur will continue. What a sorrow if it were to end in this world. May Arathorn reach a different fate than his father. Let none come to this troll height without remembering the fate of the chieftain of the Dunedain. From this point forward, this height will be known as Arador's End, and will be a warning to all. So this is basically Aragorn's granddad. Arador was the father of Arathorn, and Arathorn is the son of Aragorn. So that's why you always hear him going, I am Aragorn, son of Arathorn.
The Rangers fervently hoped that Arador's son, Arathorn, would rule long as their chief, but it was not to be. 1 year after the birth of his son Aragorn, Arathorn was slain by orcs, and his wife fled to Rivendell.
We have been friends for many years, Tugon, and we have explored the wild lands of Eriador together. Your friendship means a great deal to me, but I have said nothing for which you should be angry with me. I have told you before that I plan to adventure in the Southlands, then to return when I have done deeds worthy of my father and grandfather. You cannot come with me, my friend. If I am to lead the Dunedain, needs must I perform feats worthy of that obligation. It is something I must do alone, Tugon. So this is Aragorn when he's heading south in his earlier years to basically like tour around Gondor and stuff and secretly help them out in various encounters and so forth. So by the time you actually get down into Gondor, you'll hear a lot of his exploits back in the day of under an assumed name, shall we say. And those people remember that guy with that assumed name, and it only later comes to light that they realise, oh wait a minute, that was actually Aragorn, you know. So suddenly they like Aragorn because he's that bloke that, you know, did heroic things back in the day. But, you know, I don't want to go too much into that because it's a bit spoilery. But it's something to look forward to once you get down to Gondor and like Dol Amroth and that kind of area. So let's continue.
In the year 2956 of the Third Age, Aragorn was about to make an important acquaintance.
I wish to see the great the great kingdoms of the south, Tugon. Who is that on the road ahead? Few travellers take this way. You're a long way from home, old man. What brings you to this road? That's no old man.
The old man smiled with amusement.
What you say is true. It might also be said of you, Aragorn, son of Arathorn. How do you know my name? No, hold, Tugon. I do not believe this man is our enemy. I know a great deal about you. I know that you were fostered by Elrond of Rivendell after the death of your father. I know that he has told you something of your noble lineage. I know too he has given you heirlooms of your house, the shards of Narsil and the ring of Barahir. But how do you know these things, old man? I know because it's my business to know. I am Gandalf. Gandalf the Grey.
Yes, it was Gandalf. And if Aragorn in his youth spoke roughly, the wizard surely forgave him.
There are great things in store for Aragorn, your chieftain, Tugon, but he must arrive at them in his own time. It is the solemn duty of all the Dunedain to protect him, for he is descended from Isildur in line unbroken, and one day he must rule in Gondor. Gandalf smiles with amusement, peering at you from underneath his eyebrows. But these are mighty words, and the time is still far off. We all have work to do before that day comes, not just Aragorn, and not just, in our small way, the wizards, but you as well, Tugon. You will not travel with Aragorn on his journey into the kingdoms of the south, for he has made up his mind. But you still have your role to play. In friendship, You will carry it out and have victory. I am certain, for that is a weapon no servant of the enemy fully understands. Elrond has spoken to me of Gandalf the Grey, and I am ashamed I did not recognise him at the first Tugon. Still, he has warmth, though perhaps he tries to hide it. There were many things I wanted to ask him should we ever meet, but now I cannot think of any. What a chance meeting! Let us continue on to Lothlorien, and perhaps then I will remember the questions I wish to ask. Okay, speak to Candace.
The Dunedain have played their parts, so it will be with us.
And so it was that Aragorn, heir of Isildur, through line unbroken down the long years, began his friendship with Gandalf the Grey Pilgrim. He will be known by the sword that he bears, Anduril, Flame of the West, and by the ring of Badahir, once lost but since regained. It is the task of the Dunedain, and indeed all friends of Aragorn, to ensure that he safely comes into his birthright. We will not question if this is the time for his ascension to the kingship. It must be so. Ride with us, Holobrand, for we ride into history. Legend and Haedor, Corrigir and Glangon are all remembered for the parts they played in the great drama of the age. So it will be with us.